name is Andy Saldaña, and we're just getting connected. Wonderful. Looks like everything is working. Hi, everyone. My name is Andy Saldaña, and I'm the Executive Director of New York Tech Alliance. We are a nonprofit organization here in New York City working to connect the tech ecosystem. Give me one moment. I'm just going to pull up my screen and say a few quick thank yous. Wonderful. And so now everybody can see my screen. Again, welcome to the March 2021 New York Tech Meetup. We're so happy to have you with us, and I hope that you were able to enjoy some of the networking before the program. We will open up the networking lounge immediately following the program as well, so if you didn't get a chance to connect with our amazing demoers, you'll have the opportunity directly after the program. Before we get to the amazing demos tonight, I do have a few quick announcements and thank yous to provide. First, a huge thank you to everyone here. International Women's Day. I hope you were able to celebrate with those closest to you, and we are always in awe of the amazing, phenomenal women that make up the New York tech ecosystem. We encourage you to check out some of our past events, our Women's Demo Night from December, our Black Women Founder Night from November, that you can always find those on our YouTube channel. About New York Tech Alliance, we are an organization driving access, equity, and inclusion in the New York tech community. We want the New York tech ecosystem to be the world's most diverse and dynamic ecosystem. We want it to be reflective of the city itself. So if you want to learn more, see more of our work, please check us out at nytech.org. And you can always reach out to me. My email is listed here, andy@nytech.org. A quick statement about privacy. We do record the audio and video. So if you ask a question and I ask you if you would like to come on screen and ask that question, just be aware that we are recording this for our channels and to share with people who are not able to attend. Quick about tonight's agenda. We are doing a few thank yous. We're already at number 2. We have a few quick ground rules. We'll get right into the demos. And then at the end of the event, if anybody in the audience would like to come up on stage, make their quick 30-second pitch of what they're working on, a quick ask and offer for the community, you're a service provider and you want to let people know you're looking for a UX designer, you're looking to volunteer, and you're looking for whatever it is that you need, we will be taking those requests at the end of the event. So have them ready, and we'll try to move as quickly as possible. Thank you to all of our wonderful partners that make the work that we do possible. Everybody from Crown Castle to Google, Work Better, EY, Nation Builder, Grasshopper, Paul Ellis Law Group, and the others all do a tremendous job supporting the tech ecosystem here in New York City. If you want to check these partners out, you can always find them on our website and find out why they support New York Tech Alliance, all the resources available to support the tech ecosystem. And if you ever need to be connected to them, please feel free to reach out. We're always more than happy to make those introductions. If you are planning a tech event yourself, please submit it to our calendar. It's an open and free service that we provide. We encourage you to add that to our events calendar, nytech.org/events. Please feel free. As long as it's tech related, we'll go ahead and add it. Community ask and offer. Again, if you have an ask or an offer for the community, always feel free to find that on our website as well. And then if you have a startup and would like to apply for one of these events, I encourage you to fill out the application form at nytech.info/apply to demo. I'm always on the hunt for amazing startups like tonight's lineup. Great technology is what I look for, and amazing founders, of course, that support that. So please feel free to apply. And then if you like what you see tonight, we hope that you will join us again on Tuesday, April the 13th at 5:30 p.m. for the April. My mistake, I missed that. It's the April New York Tech Meetup. And before that, we'll be hosting a New York Tech Alliance Forum about family office funding and angel funding. So we hope that you can join us for both of those events happening in April. And you can always find our events at nytech.org. And then there's three ways that you can support the organization. One is you can simply provide a donation when you're RSVPing for one of these events. Two is to become an individual or supporting or corporate member of the New York Tech Alliance. And then three is simply making a donation on our website at nytech.org. We appreciate all the help, and it's really helped keep us moving through this difficult time. And then a special announcement about our volunteer corps. We have started 5 amazing projects with 5 phenomenal organizations. So if you are a technologist in the ecosystem, you have some free time, you want to give your services to, donate your services to one of these amazing organizations, we have some phenomenal projects that we're working on. I encourage you to read more about each of these projects on our website, nytech.org/volunteer corps. Learn about what they're looking for, and please feel free to apply to volunteer. I'd be more than happy to connect you to them and make sure that we are supporting not just us as a nonprofit, but the entire ecosystem of nonprofits that make New York an amazing place to live. And then that brings us to tonight's meetup. We have 3 phenomenal demoers to share with you this evening, 3 great companies. They're building really cool technology to support very different aspects of the tech ecosystem. So the first we have is Minerva. They'll be demoing last. We have Casey with Luxlock, who'll be demoing second. And then David with Podgo, who will be up first. So if you've never been to a New York Tech Meetup, there are a few things to know. The first is that if you have a question for any of the demoers, we encourage you to ask the questions that you have during their demos. Please put it in the Q&A portion of the chat functionality or the chat functionality of Airmeet. If you're watching us on YouTube Live, please feel free to put it into the comments. I will be periodically checking through all 3 channels to see what kind of comments and questions are coming in. The second thing we ask is that you be present and in the moment here watching these amazing demos. They have done a great job preparing for tonight's event. They have some amazing technology to share with you. So we just ask that you give them a moment of your attention and be present tonight. And then lastly, we ask that you be respectful. Again, this is an amazing opportunity for them to present their technology to you, the audience. They're sharing it with you. I'm sharing myself with you. So please be respectful of everyone here. And we appreciate you again being here with us tonight. And then there is one question that we stray away from. And if we were in person at a New York Tech Meetup event with everybody in the audience, I would ask this question: what is the one question we don't ask? And everybody would go, what's your business model? We don't ask about business model here at New York Tech Alliance and the New York Tech Meetup. We really concentrate on the technology itself, the product, the functionality, and the reason behind it. The business model conversations can happen during the networking piece of the event. But again, we really try to focus on the product and the technology itself. We appreciate your cooperation, and I'm sure the founders would love to connect with you further if you have specific questions about their business model. And with that, we're going to get right into the program. So I'm going to ask that we invite David up from Podgo. He's a really fantastic person. He's building a really great product. I'm really excited to share it with you and the community, all about podcasters, all about helping them raise some funds. So David, even though we're not talking about your business model, I hope that you help a lot of podcasters with their business model. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to turn it over to you, and hopefully, I want to see, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, Andy, thanks so much for bringing me up on stage. I'm going to open up my application window and share my screen. Are you able to see that? There we go. Perfect.
Yep. It's all working terrifically. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, David. I'm going to turn it over to you. You have about 7 minutes to do your presentation, and then you'll see my face pop back up. So with that, I'm going to hide myself and have fun.
Yeah, so my name is David. I'm the founder of Podgo, and Podgo is a membership-based platform that connects small podcasts to advertising opportunities. An interesting stat I always like to quote is only 1% of podcasts get over 37,000 listens or more per episode. So that means that the other 99% of podcasts are considered small podcasts. And we found a space in the market to connect small podcasts anywhere from 10, 15,000 down to under 100 listens to advertisers, because even if you have a small audience, that audience still matters. And our podcasts average about 400 listens per episode, and most of the podcasters spend about 5 hours a week editing, recording, researching their episodes, and they just want to be validated for the work. So all the ads on Podgo are host-read. You actually say the live read in your episode. And I'm going to go through kind of the process right now of from application to what the admin sees and what the advertiser sees on their end as well. Because podcasting is like no other platform. It's so democratized that if we recorded this right now as a podcast, it would be alongside all the podcasts that you probably listen to from NPR, New York Times, and the major players. And advertisers see that value of that intimate nature of actually talking to someone in their earbud. So right here is just the homepage, and this is where you'll see just a little bit more information about the platform. And when you go in, you'll be able to apply. And this application form goes a little more in depth, and our team actually goes in and vets each member onto the platform. So you'll fill this out. Now, I already filled out a sample application. And this is what you see when you first apply is just a simple welcome message. And from the admin side, this is what you see as your pending podcast. So I have the NY Tech Meetup, the podcast, as a example right here. So I'm going to approve this live. So I'm going to approve the podcast, and we should see this change live. Now, there's no ad placements yet, but I also have a campaign ready. So this is for the New York Tech Meetup, and this is just some simple a campaign I made. And what's cool for the advertisers is you're able to segment what podcast category you want. So I put a few sample categories, including technology, which the podcast is under. So if I go and approve this ad campaign from the admin side, you're going to see this in your dashboard. You're going to see the actual ad. So that this is what a podcaster sees. And Andy, I hope it's okay. I used your name as the podcast host here. And what happens is at the time of recording, you'll go in. This is the available ads portal where you're able to see all the ads available to you at the time of recording. And when you submit the ad, so episode 1, you're able to put where it appeared in the episode. And our team is actually working with some third-party software that actually does speech-to-text transcription to actually do the air checks to confirm the validation for that ad placement. So I'm just putting a simple 30-second spot, and after I submit this, on the admin side, I'm going to get a payment request for episode 1, and if I approve this, and I know I'm going through a very high-level, quick overview here, but for the podcaster, you're going to see your payments, and you see that episode 1 was approved, and now I'm able to cash out my balance, and I just use a simple form here, but this is where you're able to cash out your balance right to your PayPal account, and if you confirm it, it's now going to be approved, and in my cash out history. And that's how we're kind of starting this process to get podcasters connected. And obviously there's a lot of things. This is kind of the technology and the infrastructure we've built to get advertisers onboarded and podcasters quickly paid. But this is the high-level overview of what Podgo is. And from the advertiser side, what the advertisers have been able to do is buy per vertical and per category. And if you think about what's happening in other social media and other digital ad spaces, you don't buy per show, you're buying a category. You're saying, I want, 18 to 25-year-old male sports podcast. And we're able to do that with the aggregation of all of our members. All the small members kind of aggregate to this larger audience. So from the advertiser side, I kind of went through the back end already of applying an ad. But this is kind of just the simple what you'll see of how to start a campaign. But I'm going to log in to an example campaign I had where you're able to see the analytics of what's your spend, how many listens did it get, what's your total episodes, all the episodes' names, and then you kind of see this dashboard of the listens over time of how much each episode actually got. So this is kind of an example of the end-to-end process of what the admin sees, what the podcaster sees from their perspective, what the advertiser sees, and kind of a closed ecosystem of connecting podcast ads to small podcasts. So that's kind of the high-level overview. I don't know if I'm running early or late because I actually didn't start my time. So, Andy, I don't know if you want to start the Q&A or if you have any questions. I kind of breezed right through that. So.
Yeah, you went very, very quickly, but that's awesome and really great overview of the product itself. So thank you so much for
it's hard
that
to fit
demo.
so much information into 5 minutes. I can jam too much in there.
Yeah, and I encourage anybody in the audience, if you have any questions that you want to ask David, please put them in. I saw one question come in through the chat as well, so we'll go ahead and get right to that. And then, I have a couple of questions as well. So, David, from Peter, the question is there a standard or average CPM for Podgo specific to each category?
Yeah, so we kind of have a standard rate, and it's about $0.01 per listen for each podcast, which equates to about a $10 CPM. For that, it gives us room to also negotiate with advertisers. So it's about a standard $10 CPM.
Definitely. For those in the audience that might not know what CPM is, can you explain what that is?
It's per thousand, cost per thousand. So he's asking about the impressions. So per 1,000 impressions, per 1,000 listens, how much do we pay a podcast? And that's $10.
Awesome. And so is there a threshold for which, for a size of a podcast, you kept saying small podcasters, what does that mean exactly? And how does that, at what stage can a podcaster really take advantage of your platform?
Yeah, so, for Podgo, our average listenership is about 400 per episode. But we have podcasts as small as 50 an episode because, with podcasting, one listen matters. You're talking to one person, they're really consuming your content. You're in their ear talking to them, having that one-on-one conversation. So if you're a small podcast with under 100 listens to upwards of, 10, 20,000 listens, you're able to go to Podgo to get a live host read, which, is appealing to a lot of these podcasters that want to, have control over what brands and products are really promoted alongside their voice.
Awesome. Great. There was a question about your tech stack and just what is your tech stack? Like, what are you working with? How did you build your platform?
Yeah, I actually brought on some third-party engineers. We have everything built on AWS. We're using a few third-party vendors where it comes to data and analytics and, like I said, the transcription, the speech-to-text, because those are capabilities that are already built out. And we felt that it was easier to bring on a partner than recreate the wheel that side. So we've been able to kind of build this bare-bones platform that kind of houses very simple, data tables. When you're talking about podcast ads, everything's in a data table that's querying back to the advertiser data table, and then you can just push the payment. We have an integration with PayPal for the payments.
Awesome. And, one of the questions that came in, it's a quite interesting question from Deborah about listeners that fall off during a podcast and if that impacts the CPM, and how are you able to measure it, in both the numbers and then in time? Like, are you able to look deeply into those analytics as well? Yeah,
so it's interesting. For advertisers, we've been billing them on a 30-day cycle to understand all the listeners, but and obviously we've been using the feeds to get those listens. But for our podcast, we actually pay a flat rate. So you don't have to worry if a podcast underperforms or outperforms. You have your average audience size. So if it's off by 1 or 2 listens, you don't have to worry. So if you're getting 400 listens, you're getting about $4 per ad placement. And that allows us to pay podcasts within 24 hours. And then you don't have to worry about that life cycle of your episode because, we know your average size, you know your average size. And that way, as you grow as a podcast and your average audience size grows, your rate increases. But this way, most people want to get paid within 24 hours and not have to worry about, what happened a month ago with that podcast.
No, awesome. And so we have time for one last question, and this one came in from Tommy. When you built this technology, what did you start with first, the advertisers or the podcasters? Like, it's a double-sided market. So how did you attack that problem?
Yeah, it's definitely what came first, the chicken or the egg. And I started with the podcast because you can't place an ad on nothing, so we need at least the podcasters. And I started this thinking that there were other small podcasters like myself out there that wanted a host or an ad, but didn't have the minimum threshold of 30,000 listens to get one, and just wanted to be able to validate their work. So we started with the podcasters. We've had an unbelievable organic response from the podcasters, and to be able to get a lot of referrals from our own members have been great. Obviously, with small podcasts, we always need to get them advertisers. So, we've been able to get a few ad campaigns on, but that's, one of our bigger pain points is we have to keep getting more and more advertisers each week. So it definitely was the podcasters first, and we continue to keep getting both on the platform.
Wonderful. That's great. And again, thank you so much for this demo. Before I let you go, though, my final question for you is what is it that you need from the community, most need from the community? What can we help you with? Yeah,
I think that definitely we're trying to get the word about Podgo out there. So if you know any of your friends that have podcasts, I know that a lot of people now record their own podcasts. Definitely tell them about Podgo as a resource to help their show. We're definitely looking for more advertisers. So if you're anyone that interested in advertising in the digital media space, definitely have them check out Podgo. And any ideas, any improvement. I think that the New York tech community is definitely someone that I look to as being able to ideate on some problems. So, I'm an open book. I would love to talk to anyone if they think they have any ideas of how to improve the platform, because it's great to get another set of eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much, David, for the wonderful demo. I look forward to continuing the conversation with you offline. And anybody in the audience, again, please feel free to check them out, podgo.co. Share it with your friends and podcasters. And if we have time, we'll bring you back at the end of the event. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy.
Have a good one. Great. So next up, we're going to go from podcasting to luxury brands. And our next demoer is Casey Golden. She's the founder and CEO of Luxlock. She's building a phenomenal product in the luxury brand space. I'm super excited by it. Casey and I had probably an hour and a half conversation last Friday, and I am still unpacking all of the details of that conversation and just the implications of what you're building and the vision that you have. So I'm really excited to have you share it with the audience today, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here and kind of show everybody like what's under the hood. We've been operating in stealth for about a year. So, and our website doesn't really say what we do. So, thanks for being here for essentially a bit of an unveiling.
Oh, exciting. I love it. I'm really excited by this. So I'm going to let you share your screen, make sure that everything works, and then I'll hide myself.
All right.
Perfect. So I'm going to disappear for a moment, and I'll be back in about 7 minutes.
Can you see anything?
I can see your screen, yes.
Okay.
Are you able to see it?
No.
Okay. Try share, and then share that either the tab or the application. There we go.
All right. I'll run blind.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to try one more time, there's three options at the top: application and window, application and tab, Chrome tab. And if you share the window, it does not show you in the view. But if you share it with the application or the Chrome tab, it'll show. You'll see it in your view.
No worries.
Okay. It took me probably 3 events before I figured it out. So
it's all good. I'm layered
if you need me, no worries. If you need me, just say my name and I'll reappear.
Perfect. So hey everyone. I am Casey Golden. I'm the founder and CEO of Luxlock, and our company exists because people want experiences and not just stuff. So we're turning consumer touch points into points of sale through personal shopping experiences to design time well spent. Because retailers need better software to provide the shopping experiences customers deserve. Better than an email, better than a CRM, better than an ad, better than a box on your doorstep, more than customer service, and better than traditional live chat. So retailers need Luxlock to provide the shopping experiences that every single customer deserves. Our software lets everybody shop with a stylist dedicated to them online with a professional salesperson or stylist or product expert, our talent or yours. We bring the conversation into stores, and instead of an ad, you start getting spoiled by the brands with experiences because most of them already own the lifestyle. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how that would actually work because it is a mouthful. So this is a demo website. This could be any brand. It could be your favorite brand. And we're replacing the live chat that's typically on the right-hand corner of any website. I think we're all used to knowing what it's like to use live chat. Nothing really cool happens. So here you can log in or get matched. This is actually our private experience, which is a velvet rope. So only people who have been invited by the brand or the stylist are able to shop with the stylist. So this is brand new, so you're the first to see it. When you log in with the same username and password across every single brand that uses Luxlock. And you immediately unlock your shopping experience and connect to your personal stylist, picking up the conversation right where you left off. So with 40% return rates and 2% conversion rates, I think we've proved that maybe a professional workforce should be online so people don't have to shop alone because it's really not working. So in our tech, we've patented grouped product messaging. So we're the only messaging software on the market that actually is integrated to products where you can go ahead and select your size, add it to your bag, and that salesperson is earning commission off their sales minus returns, just like in store. So with a quick swipe, you can go right over to the next item, take a look at the all of the thumbnails that would normally be on a product page. You can add it to your wish list, and again, add it to your bag. Every single time you come into the conversation, you are connected to your stylist or your secondary, so you'll constantly be building those beautiful relationships and have meaningful engagement. And you can get items put together, outfitted, and we can mix and match things that you already own in your closet. So this is literally what it's like to shop with a personal stylist when you're at the 5% of a brand's customers, what we would do in stores. So how do we do that? It was no easy feat. In order to provide personal shopping services at scale, you have to know who you're shopping with. Oops, I think I froze. You have to know who you're shopping with, and Luxlock knows. So we don't do any advertising on ourselves. We are all about providing services and making sure that we can have the brands do that beautifully. So you can see who you're shopping with. All of your sizes are here, your recent activity, and then it's all about going in and merchandising. So you can pick an item that you've purchased, something that is in your browse history, a wish list, or you can go to the entire e-commerce inventory and search. So I can see everything that's floral. Go ahead and it adds it to the editor, and you can just go ahead and put an outfit together and share. So this is what we have stylists doing right now. They are digitizing. They have been 70% of the workforce in retail has been unemployed or stagnantly employed during COVID. And so we've been helping them digitize their business and provide these professional services to brands all over the globe. Andy!
Yeah, I'm coming back.
You can manage all of your staff. Yeah, I think I'm over time.
You're right at time, yep.
Oh, perfect. So you can manage all of your staff, whether or not there are staff 1099s or if it's yours, but it's a fully integrated system.
Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to share? Is that the demo?
I think that's pretty much the demo. I think more or less Q&A if there's anything anybody has a question about or would like to see more of.
Yeah, absolutely. So great. So we'll go right into the Q&A portion of this demo segment. Really fantastic demo. From what we talked about on Friday to seeing the demo tonight, it's really coming full circle. What you're looking to accomplish for both the styles, the brands, the customer, and the stylists. You're building 3 different marketplaces, and it's really quite. I imagine that you're constantly pulling out your hair and trying to figure out where to focus. But this is a phenomenal product, and I'm really excited to see kind of the implications. I'm really excited to see how it works from the customer point of view as well. And I think a lot of people feel that personal shoppers and that kind of brand loyalty is out of their reach. And I feel like this kind of platform helps to bring it closer to a reality as well. And people don't understand that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to be one of those brands' favorite customers. So I really appreciate this type of product. It's really quite interesting. I lost the Q&A piece because I went full screen. So I'm going to come out of full screen, see if we have any questions from the audience for Casey at Luxlock. If not, I will continue to rave about what an amazing product it is and ask a couple of questions. It's really interesting, this group chat functionality of being able to have inventory. So basically, does that carry across brands? So you can carry that same Luxlock conversation across multiple brands and put outfits together, or?
No, so that will be that's like, another product.
Okay.
That's pro access.
Yes.
That's not coming out until, hopefully like Fashion Week. No, so this is really focused on B2B. So you use live chat today, you can't shop in it, you can't pick up a conversation, and nobody's making any sales as far as commission in it, so nobody uses it. So we really wanted to fix that problem first. Is shopping online shouldn't mean shopping alone, especially for luxury brands. It's against the entire DNA and sales methodology. So we wanted to solve that first. So it does act as the brand's CRM for a direct-to-consumer business, as well as their live chat. And then we go ahead and merge across. So there will be, there's lots of B2B ways that these brands do business today that don't include wholesale or include a direct-to-consumer e-commerce store. There's about 18 other ways that products are sold. They're just done in paper.
Right. Absolutely. And so, there are three distinct markets that you're kind of reaching out to and attracting the marketplace for. So how are you integrating all of that into a seamless kind of conversation from the consumer side, from the stylist side, and from the brand side? I imagine that's been a very complicated tech problem to solve right now.
Yeah, so we really focused on, we sell the software to brands.
Okay.
Right? We spent all of our time with brands, making sure this was the direction they wanted to go. These were the tools they wanted to use, and worked with the professional stylists and people who work on the floor pre-COVID, right? So this was, for us, we didn't pivot into COVID. We've been working on this for 3 years, building out the infrastructure, the architecture of how all of this information stays connected and synced without sacrificing privacy, maintaining an anti-advertising strategy to make sure that you can get service without ads, right? And so it really focused on brand and making sure we were providing a beautiful online shopping experience that was live and real time. And, the bar's pretty low for chat. So
Yes,
it was a pretty easy conversation. As soon as you see an outfit for the first time, it's just like, oh, can we have it now?
Yeah, definitely.
Brands like it. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff we do right now. We can get into that next month.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the questions that came in, it actually was going to be my next question around the stylist marketplace. And Danny asked if the stylists work for the store or brands, or if they work for Luxlock, or is it kind of a combination of the two?
Yeah, we're actually finding that most brands are taking a blended approach. So depending on what stores are open right now and which aren't, if a brand has their own in-store staff, those pieces of talent, like those people can go ahead and use Luxlock and shop online while working in store. But there's still a lot of people that are on furlough that aren't able to go into a store or feel safe in a store, and vice versa. So it's actually being able to be rolled out to other employees so that they can work remotely. We also have our own 1099 staff. I don't know if you want to use staff, but talent. So we have a pool of $1 million sellers, professionals that are category and product experts that are being matched to brands so that they can go ahead and sell online. So we have some celebrity stylists that are coming in and working with the brands for launch strategies because they're normally Skype and flight. And that's business has taken a hit with stores being closed and low inventory. So it can be our talent or it can be the brands. We had a huge uptick in direct-to-consumer brands reach out to us last year that did not have stores and do not have sales associates and definitely could not afford $1 million seller. Mm-hmm. So, we're dedicated to making sure that this remains a career. They get really great conversion rates and beautiful service. So if anybody needs a job in this space, please call us.
Awesome. And then I think we have time for one last question. I was back to the stylist point of view. I know that sometimes technology can be scary to those that are not in it and living it every day. Is the onboarding piece around adopting the Luxlock technology as an independent contracted stylist, is that a huge leap, or is it pretty, simple to use? And is there what is that education process like?
Well, Cheryl's on here. She's head of customer success and onboarding for the talent. She should have joined me.
I can bring her up on stage if you'd like.
Yeah, no, it's good. Last question. I can go ahead and fill it in. So our $1 million sellers are typically not 20.
Okay.
So we needed to make sure that our primary user could use it and it worked for them and they wanted to use it. There are clienteling software tools out there. There's things that you could use for some type of live shopping on a website. Fact is, nobody uses it. And so that really comes down to why we're different, is the fact that we have a wait list of people that are dying to use our software because they love it. And so we essentially went in to these people and deleted all the words, because in a store there is no words, there are no labels. And so we just really went to, what do you want to do? What do you want to do next? So we made it really intuitive to just know who you're talking to, grab your products, dump them on a table, put them in a fitting room. You don't even need words. So the onboarding has been actually quite quick. After like 2 conversations, they're like, oh, okay, let's do this. Because you can talk to more than one person at the same time. So you just start being, working like a symphony.
Okay. No, that's amazing. And it sounds like you're providing these tech tools into the hands of these stylists that are hungry for these opportunities to continue working. So that's really phenomenal. I love that part of the story. And especially during this time, I know it's super important to figure out how can we provide more resources to those that aren't working. I see that Daniel had one quick question. It's again related to the stylist, but quickly, what is the requirement to work as a stylist for those that aren't kind of aware of this ecosystem?
Yeah, so typically we sell premium and luxury brands, so brands that were probably sold at like a Saks or Neiman Marcus or Bergdorf Goodman. That can be from like a $200 price point to a $200,000 price point. What we do is we have a talent database, and then we go ahead and start matching based off of skill sets. So if you want to sell fine jewelry, you're going to probably need to be a gemologist. You're going to need to know everything about diamonds, gems, precious stones, metals. If you want to be in menswear and you need to know menswear, you need to know what a Super 120 is versus a 150. These are literally professional salespeople that earn anywhere from $80,000 to $400,000, $500,000 a year selling products. And so it is definitely a skill set, but we do have a program that is designed to reskill, and anybody can learn about menswear versus women's wear, kids, or cosmetics. It's just a matter of being provided the right information. So we do have like a reskilling and a product knowledge piece to try and bring more people up the funnel that have been at lower price point brands and let them move up into a more premium luxury space and know their product knowledge.
Awesome. That's great. I have so many questions for you, but unfortunately we have to wrap it up. There's, what is the future product roadmap look like? My mind is spinning with all of these ideas of where I want to see it go. So I imagine that you every day have to rein it in and say, we're working on this right now. But before I let you go, what is your biggest ask for the community and what can we help you with?
Yes. We are looking for somebody to join our team to take over our UI and UX design and really come in as a constant and grow with us. So obviously high design aesthetics and really focused on user experience and being able to print. Right? And have that creativity to really rethink the way that we do things. As you said, you're excited about our roadmap. We got backlog down all the way down Madison Avenue. So it all starts with design.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. So this is really awesome and such a pleasure to have you with us. I'm really excited to see where you go in the future with Luxlock. I encourage everybody to check them out, luxlock.com. follow Casey on LinkedIn. And again, thank you so much, Casey, for being with us this evening and sharing what you're building.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one. And then from high-end fashion brands to letting people, helping people with skills, how to do things on the internet. I'm really excited by this product. Joaquín, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you back with us at New York Tech Meetup. It's been about 7 years since you last demoed at one of these events. Then it was at Skirball in the theater. So I'm so happy to have you with us in this virtual space to show us what you've been working on. It's already found some fantastic success in the ecosystem. I'm so proud to be connected to you and just excited to see everything that you've been building. I remember the first conversations that we had about this in the New York Tech Alliance offices a couple of years ago, and it's just amazing to see how it's come to life, and I'm excited to share it with the audience. So I will turn it over to you and get your screen shared, get everything set, and then I'll disappear.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Andy. It's really wonderful to be back. And I appreciate, Andy, you and this platform, the community that you build, and the support that you've provided over the years. We met, like you said, 7 years ago when I first demoed my last company at New York Tech Meetup. And the friendship and colleagueship since has been amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really quickly, what Minerva does, I'm going to say it in words, and Noah is going to understand what in the world we do. And then I'm going to share my screen, and I'm hoping to have the world's fastest demo. I think I can get that done. So what we do is we allow anyone to create dynamic walkthroughs for any website. And we do that using a browser extension. We also have an SDK, a software developer kit, that you can then embed into your website. So what does that mean? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And you should be able to see my screen. I'm going to assume that you can, unless Andy jumps up and says you can't. And so here we are on the newyorktech.org website. I'm going to go ahead and open up Minerva. We created this recipe just yesterday, actually. And so I'm going to click to help you understand how to go ahead and volunteer for the New York Tech Alliance. So we're going to go ahead and click on COVID-19. We're going to say New York Tech Volunteer Corps. You're going to have to scroll all the way down to click volunteer today. We give you this helpful little user experience interface there to scroll. Click on volunteer today. You'll notice that we're clicking through all of the different steps. It's going to be 5 steps actually total. Jump to step 4, click volunteer today. We're going to be going to a completely separate web property. We're on Google Docs now, and it's going to tell us to fill out the form. Once we've done that, we'll be done. And so that's Minerva, really. We allow you to create, share, and use dynamic walkthroughs for any website. We also have a really cool thing here. I'm going to copy our share link, or actually I could just go ahead and go to newyorktech.org. Yesterday, Andy and I, it literally took us, I think, 5 minutes to put the Minerva SDK onto newyorktech.org. Then you have this little Minerva magic link that you can append. And once you do that, this is a browser, pardon me, this is a browser without our browser extension. And so anyone who would like, you can go to newyorktech.org with this link here, and it's going to give you exactly the same experience. So today, without downloading Minerva, you can actually have the same experience we just had. It's going to tell you that you're going to have to download Minerva to complete this because, again, that last step was a Google form. But you'll just walk through exactly what we've done with the SDK, if the SDK is enabled on a website. I'm going to close that. I'm actually going to go ahead and create a new recipe, which I think is probably the coolest thing about Minerva, how quickly and easy it is to create what we call a recipe, one of these walkthroughs. So I'm going to go ahead and create a recipe. My recipe is going to be donate to New York Tech Alliance, and we should all be doing that because Andy and the New York Tech Alliance do amazing work. You'll see now, as I go around the website, this box that shows up around different elements on the website. When I click Support New York Tech Alliance, you'll see it actually says Step 1, click New York Tech Alliance. I'm going to let you choose which donation amount you'd like. So you'll see here we actually have a lot of dollar signs, a little hashtags, sorry. We don't capture any any numbers to maintain privacy. We want to make sure that you are safe and secure, and you can trust that we're not capturing any information that you don't want us to have. And so privacy and trust are some of our top concerns. So we just filter out all numbers, but we're just going to say select a donation amount and go through and click in here. And maybe we're just going to say fill out the form. I oftentimes don't like going through and actually filling in each step in the form because that makes the recipe really long. And we're going to go ahead and click on donate now. That'll be the last step, but you obviously had to put that in first. Click publish. We've got a new recipe. I can copy the share link. I send it to somebody, anyone you'd like. And since we have the SDK enabled, you actually see you don't actually need Minerva to follow this recipe. And so we should share this recipe for everyone to be able to go out and support the New York Tech Alliance. And again, we're just going to go through and it will walk us through exactly what we've just done. That's pretty much it. That's Minerva. We'd love for you all to sign up, start using the tool. We're not supposed to talk about our business model, but I do want to say we are not going to sell anyone's data. We're not selling any information about you. We're not capturing any data other than what you see on the screen. We make our money because people subscribe, people and organizations subscribe to a premium Minerva experience, which is actually open and free through the end of March. So take advantage of that. With the premium experience, you can make private recipes. The goal for us is to really cover the internet, every website that you're on in recipes. And so we want to have this be an open platform everyone can use. We want that to be, that's why we, by default, recipes are public, but you can pay for privacy. You can pay for collaboration tools. You can pay for analytics. So don't want to get into it, but I just want to, whenever you figure out, hey, if a tool is free, obviously everybody in the tech ecosystems understands, well, then you are the product. For Minerva, you will never be the product. We have a free tool that's amazing for you, and we're not going to sell your information.
Awesome. Thank you, Joaquin. Before you stop sharing your screen, though,
yes,
I was wondering if you could show one more recipe. One of the ones that I saw that was amazing was the register to vote on your website. So it's not just for like business-related recipes or anybody on any website can create a recipe to help people. And I think that that's what's so powerful and amazing about the tool.
So here we go. On Minerva, you'll see that we have a 10-step recipe. Am I registered to vote in New York? You click launch recipe, and now it's going to be on the New York website. Select your county. I happen to be in Kings County. People don't know that that's Brooklyn.
Yes.
I'm not going to put in my information here.
Of course.
It will just tick through, and you see as you go ahead and click in and fill out the form, it's going to tell you where we are.
Absolutely. I think that that's great. I just wanted to let people know that it's not just on, websites that have installed the SDK, or it's not just for a use for a customer. Like anybody on the internet can use Minerva to capture these recipes. One of the use cases that we were talking about briefly yesterday was about helping perhaps your aging parents or aging individuals do tasks that they have to perform on the website. It's amazing. I know that there was some issue with helping some aging populations register or find COVID appointments. So this is super, super helpful. So I really the use case for Minerva, the implications of this type of tool are phenomenal, and so I'm really excited that we were able to share it with the community. And again, thank you so much for being a part of the New York Tech Meetup this time. We have some time for some questions, so I want to turn it over to the audience for some questions. There's a question that came in from Jai Ho, saying that it's a very useful product. Did you have a specific user group that you were expecting? Like what really was the reason that you created Minerva?
So we do have some specific groups that we're looking into for go-to-market. Our most frequent clients right now are customer service reps, helping people figure out, how do I do this on your platform? You send a link, it'll walk them directly through no fuss, no muss. And those are reusable recipes. Every recipe has a link that you can then reuse. Becomes very easy to do support. Revenue operations, sales enablement, folks who are training other people coming on board and using a lot of different tools that your organization has procured. This type of training can be really streamlined through Minerva, and it is a constant companion. And so if you learn how to do something on day one, but then you only do it every 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to forget how to do it. You just open up Minerva and it's right there and it'll walk you through step by step. But really, we do want Minerva to be for everyone. The goal is for Minerva to be kind of a new web standard, that any website you go to, if you're not sure how to do something on that website, you should open up Minerva. Either the company itself or the community will have created a recipe for you. And that's what we're hoping to achieve.
No, that's quite amazing. There's one question that came in through the chat. I mean, it's actually quite an interesting question. Justin asked about, is just good action-oriented web design kind of technically a competitor to Minerva?
It's an interesting question. I would say not. The thing is, as soon as you get past a very core set of features, if you're building a SaaS product, if you're building a website, if you have more than 5 or 10 features, it doesn't matter how good your design is. Some of those features are going to start to get hidden. And so it becomes an impediment. Just the complexity of your tool becomes an impediment. I'll also say that Minerva hopes to increase accessibility to folks who are vision impaired. We're not doing too much there yet, but we hope you can create a Minerva recipe and then share it with someone on a website that wasn't built for accessibility. For folks who don't speak English as a first language, we hope you can create a Minerva recipe for your friends, family, colleagues, and give them access to parts of the internet that weren't there for them before. And so Minerva recipes are really there to increase accessibility for everyone, everywhere online.
No, absolutely. And now we need to get this into native devices, for iOS. Yep. So I can quit getting those phone calls from my mom. How do I work the camera? I can't tell you.
We're looking at mobile. We're looking at your desktop. We just started in the browser, but mobile, desktop, people on the team are really excited to go into gaming platforms. So Xbox walkthroughs for some games. I'm really excited about the possibility of going into the real world. Point your phone at that printer and I'll help you step-by-step walk through changing your toner. Anywhere there's procedural knowledge where some expert has it and wants to share it broadly with the world, and people want to consume that step-by-step procedural knowledge to be able to achieve their goals, Minerva should be the open source repository for that knowledge for the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's again, it seems like such a simple tool, but the implications are phenomenal, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. There's another question. We have time for one more question. Oh no! It's just Minerva knows, and it does. The implications around training, especially like for me, I'm an event organizer that uses multiple platforms, and Callie on my team is new to the team, and just getting her up to speed on just all the buttons you have to push and the way that you have to publish on this platform versus this platform. It's really, I see a tool like Minerva being very useful in the future for us. So. Again, thank you so much, Joaquín. What is the biggest ask that you have for the community? What can we help you with?
Sign up and create recipes. We want to be everywhere. And so if somebody's asked you, how do I do that? Think of Minerva, create a recipe and share it with them. It's free. And we would love to hear once you've done that. Obviously, we want to hear what you love, but even as much as, and perhaps more than what you love, what's frustrating to you right now with our tool? Because we're working really quickly to build and iterate. And we want to create a tool that works for you and everyone you know.
Yeah, absolutely. The answer to let me Google that for you, huh?
A lot of people have said that. Yeah. It's the less snarky version of let me Google that for you. This is actually helpful.
Yes, actually helpful. Well, thank you again so much, Joaquín. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. And again, thank you. I'm going to bring back all of the demoers to the stage. While we do that, I'm going to also invite anybody in the audience. If you have an ask or an offer for the community, I will give you the camera for 30 seconds to join us on stage. But let me see. I have Casey on stage, and then we're going to get David on stage. Just let us know in the chat if you have an ask and offer. In the meantime, I know that we're actually right at 7 o'clock, so talk about perfect timing, but I'm going to go ahead and since I have you all here for one more minute, just simply ask, what are you most excited about in this next week? So I'm going to turn it over to Casey first.
You guys got to see the sneak peek of our new UI design on my demo. It hasn't been pushed to production yet. So I'm really excited for it to move out to the rest of the world.
Awesome. David, yourself.
Yeah, well, I was really excited to see both of you guys' presentation. Really excited. We have a few campaigns starting this week. So it's always nice to onboard a new advertiser.
Excellent. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And Joaquín.
We have new team members starting. Just a couple of months ago, we were 5 people. We are 12, 13 now. By the end of the month, we're going to be 17 folks. So we're building a team, and each person who comes on has been just phenomenal so far. Hopefully that continues. And so we're just bringing on new folks to the team is amazing. It's always fun.
Awesome. Do you still have openings?
We just closed, I think, our last role for now. However, the expectation is that we're going to grow fast. And so if you are interested in working with Minerva, please reach out. Joaquín at minervaknows.com. Feel free to reach out to me. Let me know what you do. And we don't have an opening right now, but you never know when more openings might open up.
Yeah, I think all 3 of you, I would love to be on your team. I want to work for everybody, but I think that the 3 of you are building amazing products. You're building great in a very direct and fantastic intentional way. Casey, it's just been such a joy, all the conversations that we've had. David, just seeing how you're thinking about this double-sided marketplace and just moving forward to support the creators of the world. I'm really excited to see where you go with it. And then Joaquín, as always, the fantastic team that you're putting together. I know that culture and work are very important to you based on your last company that you demoed and then what you've brought to Minerva. So congratulations to everybody. It's really phenomenal to have all 3 of you part of this program. And we look forward to connecting with you in the future. For everyone else in the audience, I did not see any direct access or requests from, there's one actually, Nick. Nick, do you want to join us on stage? I can definitely bring you up. Let me see if I'm able to. That'd be might fun to. Okay, let me see. This is a problem with some of these platforms, right? Like finding where everything is.
I've got a tool for you, Andy.
Exactly. And then I spilled water on my keyboard earlier, so it's sticking. Let me invite Nick to... Nick is such a great longtime attendee and just part of the tech community. He's the organizer of the drone group in New Jersey, so we'll just wait for him to join us, and I'm sure he has a quick ask. And then again, anybody in the community, all of these amazing demoers will be here to connect with you after the event. And so I encourage you to join the conversations at their table and pick their brains and find out all about what they're building. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good.
Wonderful. What's your quick announcement?
Just as I mentioned to some of the people as I was bouncing around the different windows about that I run the New Jersey Drone User Group, but I'm also planning to put on a drone expo, which will start online. We did it back in 2019 at the Convention Center in Atlantic City, which of course worked out to be very, very expensive, cost us about $150,000. So what we're trying to do now is I want to find a new team because that team on that one didn't work out too well. So I'm looking to find experts to find sponsors and exhibitors, plus someone who's good at promotion, if they can help out, if they'd be interested in helping out.
Absolutely. Where do they go to find you, Nick?
Good question. So give an email address or?
If you'd like to share it with the community, feel free to give it, or you can put it in the chat. We'll just say that. Nick will put his email address in the chat, so if you'd like to connect with him. feel free. Sounds like a fantastic event, and thank you so much for sharing that with us, Nick. And again, thank you to everyone. That is concludes this evening's New York Tech Meetup. I hope you enjoyed the demos. I hope that you will join us again in April for another round of amazing technologists showing amazing technologies. So in the meantime, I encourage you to stick around, do some networking with these amazing founders, and I'll be at the New York Tech Alliance table. We'll see you there.